Wes S. It's my boy Leland S. We are, yeah, he said hi. We're at a lake in Texas. We're fixing to fish. We're doing non-snowflake stuff. We are going to prove that being a snowflake is not all it's cut out to be. If we're lucky, we will catch some fish and we will show you how to eat them. If not, you will get a lot of clips of us being bored sitting here in these chairs fishing, which is still not snowflake stuff.
There's definitely a movement out there.
See, non-snowflake stuff. It's called fishing. Oh, little drum. Let's put it on. It's called a lucky fish.
Oh yeah, I got a pretty decent ways out there that time.
Oops. Wide. This is Wes S. Again. Open your mouth. Open your mouth. She got dirty. Her Leland there. We're catching fish. Might keep this one. He's just about worth eating. We caught a carp or two and several drum. We put 3 of them on the stringer. The thing about a drum is it's a real meaty fish and oily. It doesn't have a flaky texture at all. There's not a lot of people who actually seek the drum out, but I enjoy catching them and I enjoy eating them. They're worth a look. The ones that we kept were all just about the right size. You know, the bigger they are, the more meat you get, but they can get to a point where their flavor is a little off, I think, and they get tough. The older they are, the tougher they are. The other part of this is, you know, hunting and fishing and gathering for a living or whatever. There's the amount of calories we exerted, the amount of resources we exerted or spent to get these drum. We did not. I mean, we could have made a couple of meals off of what if we kept everything, but it didn't pay for itself. I mean, it was a good day. It was a real good day. We had a lot of time to visit and yak back and forth and rag on each other for big fish or little fish or fouled lines or whatever. That's the kind of stuff you go fishing for. Get out and do something. Have some fun. Learn something. Spend quality time together. This Wes S. Me and the boy went fishing today. We put 3 drum on the stringer. I'll show you how to scale them and clean one real quick. Got 3 of them. This here is a freshwater drum. A lot of people call these a trash fish. They're not. You can call them a rough fish if you want to. They do have bones in them, and you know there's not as much meat on this fish as would be on the same size catfish or bass even. But these have a very unique flavor. They're worth the little bit of effort it takes to get them right. So, y'all bear with me here. When you're doing this, you need a couple of things. You need something to scale it with, Now I've seen people scale with their fillet knife. That's a waste of an edge. Scaling's more of a hard work. I mean, you can use sharp rock. You can use dinner fork. You can use your pocket knife. They actually have tools for it. I use a knife. It's a little buck, I believe 105. Yeah. But you just start at the tail and start popping the scales up. And you'll find that it works better with the rounded part of the blade, because then you're only attacking the part of the scales right there. You're not trying to get the whole, descale the whole fish. You want to go as far up as you can and be very cautious around these fins. Each one of those is razor sharp. Do not run one of them up into your hand. So if you notice, I mean, the scales are not hard to come off at all. Boom, that side's done. Flip it and go to the next one. And the bigger they are, the harder they are to scale. And something else you want to remember is you want your fish to stay wet. It's a little bit of distance between you and or your home, or wherever it is you're going to clean them at, and the river, the lake, wherever you're going to score your drum at. Find a way to keep them wet. I'll pull these out of the water and I've started cleaning them that fast. It comes in handy if you have running water around. And guys, seriously, gals, whoever, don't do this in your house. There's no way to keep these scales from winding up everywhere. Have a little bit of respect for those involved around you. And it is prudent to give it a little feel to make sure you got them all. And it's real simple. When you run your hand back this way, you'll feel any scales, like I missed a patch right there. And then you just give it a flick. But if you'll do it outside and keep a water hose handy, then you don't have to deal with the scales when it comes time to do this next part. Now here is when your fillet knife comes in handy. It needs to be sharp. You want to start at the vent and carefully with your fillet knife run it up in there about 1 inch and then take it out. But keep it, I mean, the reason you come back here and poke to the front is because that fillet knife will automatically go away from any of the stuff you don't want to cut up in here. And then you come back in and get it again, and you make sure your thumb goes behind the knife, and then you can just cam off your thumb and just roll up. There's a bony part here. This is a little tricky depending on how sharp your knife is. Same thing, you keep the knife lifted up towards that meaty bony part. You can actually stick it back in there up his throat. It sounds a little gross. And use his skull to allow you to pry. Use the underside of his mouth, or the underside of his mouth in here. Your knife's way up in here, and you can pry and cut through that little bony part right there. And that gives you access to all this stuff up here and the fish that you don't want. And here comes the good part. Just got to reach in here and take all this stuff out. And he was eating clams. A lot of them. We have little Asian clams in the lake, and these guys in the carp are doing a real good job of cleaning them up. But take your bladder and everything. Now, depending on how you want to cook it, you can come in here and cut this little tab in the throat right here. There's the two fins. There's a little bone right there, and then you can get in here and you can actually cut his throat out. Nothing past the stomach is going to hurt you, so if you can reach in there, again, be very careful. Run the knife in and just cut the throat, and the yuckies come out. Then you're left with a fish. And again, you get the running water. And that fish is ready to go. Cook it just like this. That's all you. I mean, that's it. The work's over. Cook it with the skin on. And I've got 3 of these. There's way more than 3 ways to cook them. I'll cook 1 each way and let you see it. Sorry for the waning light, but we fished all day and we came home. It's dark. Cleaned the fish. That's how you do it. Cooking it, I'll probably, depends. I'll have to, I'm not going to attach them to all the same video, but it'll probably be a separate video on how to cook them. Y'all have seen me clean them, and I'll show you how to cook them. And we'll enjoy eating them, that's for sure.